Look at this statement. I'll keep pushing, I'll keep fighting. And the other statement, if you push, I'll fight. Basically, both of them are saying the same thing. They're saying if you push, I'll fight. But the basic difference between this statement and the other statement is this statement says it only executes once. Like if you push, I'll fight. While this statement is going to execute until the condition is false. This is how while works. So the syntax is something like this. While this condition, and it will execute the sequence of statements. Let's say we want to print the values from 1 to 10. So you can take a value of y. I'll start with 0, and I'll say while I is less than 10, and I'll print I. So basically I'm checking if the value of I is less than 10. If it is 10, then I'll print it. Now this has a problem, but then I'm doing it intentionally to show you a couple of things. So I'll execute this once. Now see this, everything is 0, and you observe is there's a star mark. No, the star mark says that the program is still executing. The program has not finished. I mean, this block of statements are still executing. Now if you scroll down here, the results, right, see it keeps on going, which means it keeps on printing the value of 0. Now sometimes you'll run into situation like this where you have put something and the terminal keeps on the code keeps on running, and you want to stop it, you want to interrupt it. So in such scenarios you'll use this one, the stop. Now if you stop it, and it will just interrupt this command right there. If you see here, the sequence number change, which means this particular cell has been executed. Sometimes what happens is, even though you are using the stop command, it just keeps running, you're not able to interrupt it. In that case you will have to restart your kernel. So you click here and it will restart the kernel, right? So now this is called as infinite loop, because the condition here will never be false. You are seeing you have a value 0 and you have a value 10, and you are checking this condition. So this condition, it will never be false. So every time it will be true. No matter how many times you compare, 0 will always be less than 10, and so this statement is going to be executed. But this is not what we want, right? We want to increment the value by 1 so that we can print each value from 1 to 10. So I'll say I equal to I plus 1, and then I'll execute this statement. I have seen all the values from 1 to 10. So this is the basic simple example of while statement. There's another part to the while statement, is called the else part. This is something we don't use too often, but just in case, it's better to know. So if the condition is, while the condition is true, all these statements are going to be executed. However, if the condition is false, it will come into the else block, and you can put anything here. I'll just put a simple print statement, end of while program. I'll execute this. I have all the numbers from 1 to 10 because these conditions are met. Once the condition is false, it executed this statement. Sometimes when you're doing a while loop, you will encounter a particular condition and you don't want to execute this condition, and so you want to skip that conditions, right? For example, let's say I am printing the values from 1 to 10, but then I don't want to print all the values from 1 to 10. I want to skip something. I want to skip a value like 5. If you want to skip something, you'll have to identify that, and you can skip that using something called as continue. So if I can write an if condition here, now you can write a if condition within the while block as well, and you can also write a while within an if condition. So you can jumble these two. So I would suggest you practice that just to see how that works. Now I'll do an if condition. I'll say if I is equal to 5, right? Then I will continue. I will have this keyword continue. So I'll keep this, let me just keep this here. I will have an else block. You have to move this here, indentation. So what it says is if I equal to 5, this condition is true, I will continue, which means once you encounter this statement, it will not execute the remaining statement. It will skip all this remaining statement. It will throw the cursor back to the while loop. So once I is 5, it goes back to this while loop, and then it goes back and does this incremental, and then it checks here. Now I value is not 5, so it comes back to the else statement and it prints a value. So when you run this program, you'll have all the numbers from 1 to 10 except for 5. There you go, 5 is missing. So that is what your continue statement is. Sometimes there is also a requirement when a particular condition is met, you just want to break through the loop, like you don't want to execute anything else, you just want to come out of the loop. So let's say if I equal to 5, I don't want to do anything else, I just want to interrupt the while command. So you can say that you can break the while command and you just want to come out of that loop. Now for that we use something called as a break statement. If you execute this once, if I equal to 5 and nothing will execute, it will not go back to the while statement, it will just come out of the while statement. The while statement will stop right there. So what that means is, as once you reach this I value is 5, it will just stop there. So you'll have only values from 1 to 4. I'll execute this statement, you see, okay, there are the values 1 to 4. So that's the basic difference between a continue statement and a break statement. We have seen a simple if, we have also seen an else. Now we have also seen an if within a while. You can try if within if, while within while. You can try those combination to see how this works. Only thing that you have to be careful is the indentation. Make sure that you have the correct indentation, because if I even go one space to the left or to the right and I'll execute this, I'll get this error called as indentation error. So be careful on that. I mean, nothing to worry, because it is very clear here. It will tell you there is a problem and what the problem is. The indentation, it also tells you where the problem is, so you can just adjust it as per the error message, right? So that's it for while. So we'll meet in the next lecture and we'll discuss about for loop. So keep practicing, guys. This is very simple. Hope you have understood this while, and keep practicing. You'll keep getting better.